Hi everybody, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a general reading for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Cancer, thank you so much for being here. I'm a Cancer, if I haven't already mentioned that the first several times I've done Cancer readings. So I'm happy to have you here. Thank you so much for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never contact you first for any private readings, so I want you to keep yourself safe. Don't fall for anybody who offers private readings to you or reaches out to you. I do offer private readings, and that information can be found in the About section of my YouTube page, but you would be contacting me first and not the other way around. So I just want you to keep yourself safe. This is a 4-card reading with 4-card clarifiers, past, present, future, and advice from Spirit. We're going to be using the Rosebud Tarot. I just got this deck and I'm so super excited to use it. So you are the first sign that you're the first anyone that I'm using it for, so I'm pretty excited about it. And for your Oracle card, you're just going to pull one Oracle from Stacey DeMarco's The Elemental Oracle, just to get a temperature on what's happening today. It's getting a little bit darker. I should have started earlier in the day and I didn't, so because, you know, a nap was calling me, so I had to do that. So glad to have you here, Cancers. Please hit the bell notification button so that you can be notified anytime I upload something new. Feel free to watch your Sun, Moon, Rising signs as well. You know, the thing that you're gonna, if you continue to watch me, and I hope that you do, the thing that I will always say is that my spirit guides are hilarious. I love my spirit guides. Like, I told somebody yesterday that before I go to bed, I tell my spirit guides that I love them. They're really funny. And as I was telling you, as I was just saying, I should have started earlier in the day, but a nap was calling. The card you have is time. And it says discipline, Cancers. And guess what? I changed my shirt so I could do this new series of videos, and it's like big bright yellow. Bright yellow. Spirit is really funny. I'm telling you, Spirit is funny. So many things about this. I love this deck so much by Stacey DeMarco. And the one thing here, this tree formation kind of looks like a brain, right? Like it has that shape of a brain. And this kind of brain stem. And all of these kind of pocket watches, clocks, keys with wings. It's just full of so much beautiful imagery. This kind of reminding me of the Wheel of Fortune energy as well. Wheel of Fortune talking about divine timing. So there's something here that Spirit is saying, well, look, you know, everything will fall into place, fall into what you need if you just devote your time and energy to that thing. So here we are. Spirit giving you a nice little, you/me, a nice little lesson in how we need to have more discipline. Let me just, I'm going to speak for myself. I will say, since starting this channel, I have been better with my time, because now I have to use a lot of my free time to make videos, so I've actually been better about my time. So maybe there's something that you can relate to in that sentiment. Maybe there's something in your life that has that you've been working on lately, and it's caused you to kind of have to be more regimented about how you spend your free time, or how you spend your day. Or maybe you're trying a new technique at work where you're trying to get more accomplished, so you're parceling out times in the day when you are most productive. Take that as it resonates. So 4 cards is the base spread. Deck has been pre-shuffled. I never choose the cards, I just let them flip out, and we shall see what Spirit has to say to you. Okay, so Another thing that I also taught myself to do was to never pick up the cards with my left hand. I only pick it up with the right hand. It's these little kind of techniques that I have with Spirit, that so they know, you know, because ultimately Spirit are the ones flipping out the cards, right? It's not me. And Spirit doesn't make any mistakes. As you can see, they don't make mistakes. Okay? So, how beautiful. Let's see. In the past position, you have the sovereignty of water. Lots of divine feminine representations in this deck. Sovereignty of water is the King of Cups. So as we can, and you're going to see a lot of roses, as it is the Rosebud Tarot. Although I do believe, okay, it's neither here nor there. It's so interesting. The watering can, watering hole, watering can. It's almost like in your past position, you could have been trying to put out a lot of fires with a watering can, like a bucket brigade. Don't know why that's popping into my head, but sometimes a bucket brigade seemed really fruitless. You know, if it's a 5-alarm, whatever. Having a bucket brigade is really not going to cut it. This card is in the upright position. King of Cups talks about sort of sentience, excuse me, a sentience over one's emotions, emotional state, being very, very in the present and understanding with how one feels and how one expresses feelings. This is a card of Scorpio. But with that bucket brigade imagery, it was almost like you were trying to put out a lot of fires, and it was at the expense of your own emotional state. With the 8 of Fire, clarifying it, the 8 of Fire is the 8 of Wands. Lots of fast communication, fast action. You know, in reverse, it was kind of like slow going, just like the bucket brigade. So in your past position, you may be feeling as though it really was 1 foot at a time, 1 step at a time, to the point of tedium. It was tedious for you. Something in your life was really tedious. I'm going to ask for a clarifier. Spirit, can you tell me what was so tedious for amazing Cancers out there? 10 of Water and the Tower. So something that you thought was going to bring you a lot of joy, camaraderie, friendship, love. 10 of Water is the whole, look at all the buckets, right? Now we have so many buckets. You thought it was going to be your gold at the end of the rainbow, that whatever emotional ties you had here, it was fruitful, it was fulfilling. But you then have the Tower. The Tower energy talks about something being built on a shaky foundation, and it's something that has to come down. It's something, you know, maybe this was a friendship circle and you thought these people were your friends, and then they kind of turned on you. Or maybe it wasn't even that sinister. Maybe you just entered into a friendship group and you just realized that they don't, after a while, they don't share the same values that you do. And it was kind of disappointing, and you just, like, this is not where, you know, maybe they're very heavy drinkers and you're just not about that. Or maybe they're really, really boring and you just need more excitement in your life. Whatever it is, it's something that needed to come down, come to an end, come to a head, come to some kind of reckoning. Ooh. It's weird. So I put these earrings on, but I didn't put any backing in my earrings, and it just fell out of my ear. What's that about, Spirit? Interesting. I'm not gonna go put a backing in my ear, but that was a weird sensation. So it's almost like having to do with the ears, having to do with listening, having to do with okay, maybe you were putting out a warning to these people or to this situation. Maybe you were trying to say to people, hey, I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think it's going to work out. I'm not sure. You were following your instincts as the King of Cups, the sovereignty of water. And people might have been in a rush. They might have been in a rush to get something accomplished. And you're like, I think we should just be a little cautious. And they were saying, Cancer, you're just being a scaredy cat. And they weren't listening. Take it as it resonates. They weren't listening. And that's the thing. This is what I tell people. Cancers always get asked for their advice, right? If you don't end up listening to the advice, that's on you. Cancers get their advice straight from source. We are one of the most intuitive signs of the zodiac, besides Pisces. People don't listen to our advice. That's on them, right? That's on them. In the present position, well, now you have the Five of Fire in the present position in the reverse. This is the Five of Wands. You can see here these two characters are kind of, it looks like they're play fighting, to be honest with you, but they're kind of going at it. They're kind of going at it. I'm just going to turn on a light here so I can see a little bit better. I'm probably going to need bifocals soon. It almost looks like it's for show. It's for show. So actually, what this brings to me, you did get this card in reverse, but you know how there's some friend groups or friends that their love language is bickering? That's kind of what came to my mind. Like, there's somebody here, maybe their love language is bickering because they're afraid to express themselves in a vulnerable way. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. There are people they're just a bunch of laughs, but they feel deeply, but it's hard for them to express that. So they do it through laughter, and you know better. So you got this card in reverse. So there could be a scenario like that in the present tense where you're just like, I don't want to converse with you or relate to you in this way anymore. I want there to be something of a little bit more, it's something that's a little bit more substantive, that has a little bit more meat to it, that I think you're a wonderful person. However, can we relate to each other in a more intimate and vulnerable way? This could be talking about an intimate connection, a potential suitor or love interest. Take it as it resonates. Clarifying that, you got the generosity of fire, which is the Queen of Fire. The Queen of Wands, who is absolutely beautiful, stunning, creative, passionate, unstoppable. The power behind the throne. I love that this little cat is like sitting on this chair here, just chilling, right? It's interesting too that the wand, she's holding it like right where her third eye and third eye chakra would be. It's almost like kind of channeling that passion energy straight into oneself, straight into the brain. You did get this card in the reverse. When the Queen of Wands, generosity of fire, is in reverse, it's kind of like you're feeling a lack of confidence, that your solar plexus might not be as resilient. It's very strange too that I chose a yellow shirt for your reading. It's strange, not coincidental, right? Strange, not coincidental. That you're trying to get all your ducks in a row, that you don't have time for playing. And there could have been a situation here where something might have caused you to experience a little bit of doubt. Maybe it was in a love scenario, and you're just kind of confused. Somebody might be making you feel off kilter, or like you don't know where you stand, and you're just saying, can we actually relate to each other as adults here? Can we have an honest conversation about what our feelings are? Doesn't have to be a love interest, or could be a sibling, or, you know, somebody really close and important to you. Asking for a clarifier now. Spirit, can you clarify that energy? 2 cards came out, the World card and the 6 of Fire. So the World card is a major arcana. I kind of studied these cards before I used them today. Again, we're having a highlight on the third eye chakra and how beautifully synchronous these and similar these two energies are to one another, right? Like a portal that it like represents a portal being opened. 6 of Fire or 6 of Wands talks about a victory in the upright, in the reverse not so much. Not coming to a space of understanding or reconciliation or mutual agreement. And perhaps the World card is saying it's perhaps this chapter is coming to a close, that there might be greener pastures, or in this case spacier pastures, that you're ready to move on from whatever this energy is, because there doesn't seem to be a lot of progress. That's the thing about the generosity of Fire, Queen of Wands. She likes to see progress. She's like, go, go, go. Let's move it. Let's do it. No time to waste. No time to waste. You can see here in this card, this Divine Feminine is also, she's got butterfly wings on her back. It's almost like ready to fly away, ready to kind of follow. It's like follow your destiny. Life is short, and we shouldn't be around anybody that makes us question our relationship to them. What is the future energies? Future energies, generosity of water in reverse. That's the Queen of Cups. That's Cancer energy in reverse. This is in the future. You know, we see here, she's very mermaid-like. It's underneath the water, or underneath the watery realms, and there's this beautiful sea turtle here. Sea turtles are, you know, turtles live a really long time. Sea turtles are eternal in terms of spiritually. You know, I was reading something about the designs on the backs of sea turtles. You know, they have these little grooves, these like groove designs on their shells. And I can't remember, but each compartment of a turtle shell adds up to 13. And there's spiritual connotations that people have put inside of turtle shells. So maybe if you could do a little bit of a Google search on that, it might provide some illumination for you, because it came to my mind for a reason, but I can't remember everything. There are spiritual connotations to that. Like each compartment represents like part of the tree of life, perhaps. Not entirely sure. But something destined, something like we're having to knock off goals, knock off earth lessons in the earth school one by one. When the Queen of Cups, generosity of water, appears in reverse, it's this idea that we have to take care of ourselves. And in this future tense, future meaning now to 6 months from now, it's all about self-focus, not selfish focus, but self-focus. We have to be investing in the self so that we can be in a position to have our cup overflowing, to be able to have time for others. because it's clarified by the 3 of air. That's the 3 of swords. It's the heartbreak card, right? So it's not to say that your future energy will be full of heartbreak, but what your future energy is saying is that you're going to be healing from past heartbreak. That it's almost like wiping your tears away for the last time regarding some issues of the past. You can see here, this is an air sign card, but there's a big moon represented in the background. The moon is traditionally in the tarot represents Pisces, but in astrology it represents Cancer. That's not a coincidence. That in the shadowy realms, which is what the moon represents secrets and shadowy realms, illusion and confusion, that in the space of where we take care of ourselves, that's when we can kind of be very, very clear about the things that have hurt us. There's some birds that just flew up to the ledge above mine. That was really, really beautiful little sparrows, right? The air energy is often represented by birds, right? So it's kind of like, I saw that as no longer looking at it as garden shears, because we're doing this whole Rosebud Tarot, we're doing this whole garden theme, right? The swords are represented by garden shears. We're no longer cutting away at anything, but rather turning these shears into sparrows or birds or things that can take flight, things that can be lighter than air, can be free, right? So there's a great deal of coming back to self in the future energy for you, Cancer. So that's really, really important. And it's really difficult for a Cancer to do that because we're like the mothers and fathers and caretakers of the signs. We are the ones that people come to for guidance and for healing and for transmutation, for, we attract that energy sometimes, and we're strong enough to deal with it, but at the same time, who helps the helpers? Who helps the helpers, right? It's a mantra that I'd like you to keep in your brain anytime you're feeling spent. I mean, I spent most of today's Saturday, I spent most of the day sleeping. I don't just randomly nap. I mean, naps are great, but like, that's not me. I spent a lot of time this week giving to others, giving my voice and attention to others. That's fine. But because I didn't take care of myself during the week, I spent half, if not most of my day off sleeping. That's not how I want to be spending my time, right? So that could be like that for you. Maybe it's oversleeping, overeating, overindulging, overspending. Is it in your best interest? You always have to think about that. Is it in your best and highest good? So what is Spirit's advice? Sovereignty of fire. Sovereignty of fire. This is the King of Wands. Somebody who is absolutely, look at this dude. I mean, he's just like he's like James Dean on the back of this bike. This motorcycle. Maybe motorcycles have some kind of relevance to you. Motorcycles often symbolically represent a kind of freedom, being free on the road, right? Just your little knapsack and just the wind against your face. King of Fire is somebody who is in control of his or her desires and goes after the things that they wish for, their goals and hopes and dreams, that doesn't let anything stop them. It is clarified by the Ace of Air in reverse. Ace of Air is the Ace of Swords. So it is in the reverse, though. It does have an Egyptian theme. I do want to point that out with the sphinxes here, pyramid in the middle. Honestly, with the two sphinxes here, it reminds me of the Chariot card. Chariot card in tarot represents Cancer, which is mastery over the yin and the yang, the light and the dark within us. It is very reminiscent of that, and especially with the kind of symmetry that's happening here. Even the symmetry that's happening here. So Ace of Fire talks about clarity and new clarity from Spirit. That Spirit is saying you don't have that clarity yet because there's a sense of freedom and sense of independence that they want you to inhabit. You can do it on your own. You don't need anybody to be your fallback or your clutch person or your, what's the word that I'm looking for, Spirit? Safety net, thank you. You're always, you're bringing up the fact that, you know, because how does Spirit talk through me? It talks through me through my own vocabulary and vernacular and memories, songs, images. And they're bringing up the fact that I always like to have an exit plan. Like when I go out, let's say I'm just going out with friends, I always like to have an exit strategy. So I don't drive, so it's like I always need to have a way out. So the person, if I drive to a far away house or whatever, I need to have a lot of trust in the person that's taking me there and bringing me home. Because Cancers always want to be back in their homestead. So Spirit is saying that you tend to always want to have a fallback plan. And they're saying, it's okay, we're your fallback. Spirit is your fallback plan. Spirit will catch you. Spirit has you. So whatever sense of independence that you want to go after, you should go after it. You should inhabit that space. So that's your reading, Cancer. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it resonated with you. If it did, please like, share, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future readings. Thank you so much, Cancer.